Hello, Afshin from inspector-training.com, and this is part 3 of API SIFE Source Inspector Fixed Equipment Examination. In this part, we are going to talk about the exam tutorial here. We already talked about what this exam is about, what's the publication effectivity and body of knowledge, what is your job description, how unique this certificate is. This is the first certificate that this is the first document that you will see before you start your examination. Remember that this can be in person or remote. We'll talk about that on our next video. But let's go and see the first document that you see before your exam starts. It's always better to have a look at this document, and so you have less stress when you are at the exam. It practically talks about how the buttons and how this works, what options you have when you are answering the question, what each icon means. And so if you go to the first one, this is what actually you see. You see the name of the exam. Before that, you even go to this after the security check, and you've been directed to your desktop to start the exam. So once at your desktop, or when the exam starts, if it's remote proctoring at your home or office, you're doing the exam with invigilator watching you. The very first thing you see on the screen, it says this is the exam and this is your name. In this case, the exam is API SIFE Source Inspector Fixed Equipment, and your name is so and so. So once you say yes, then it takes you to this page. And it's an exam tutorial. You can have 10 minutes to look at it, or if you finish this section earlier, it's entirely up to you. And but within 10 minutes anyway, this will disappear and your exam actually starts. So what you see here, it practically tells you what the upcoming exam is about, and how that works. The buttons work, the icons work, and all that. So in the middle, on the top, you see the section time remaining always. That's the clock that keeps ticking, and the minute that turns into 0, or you run out of time, the exam automatically is concluded, regardless whether you answered all the questions or not. So you should have a good time management. So my recommendation is not more than 1 minute on each question, and then at the end you have assigned like 10-15 minutes to make sure that you answered all the questions, because there is no negative marking. You're increasing your chances of passing. Plus, all those flagged up questions, you can have a look at them again. The flagged up questions that you were in doubt about the answer, but you answered them anyway. So that's the time remaining there. So you should have a healthy progress. So this is 3 hours, 15 minutes. On average, you should be able to answer 40 questions roughly per hour. So keep this pace. And then here you see that it says the test is API 510. The actual exam, it would say SIFE Source Inspector Fixed Equipment you see on the green line here, row, and the top left side. On the top right side, you should be able to see your name. Okay. Now, after the preliminary introduction, I'm going to, if you ask for translation, there are 3 languages available so far: Chinese, Korean, and Spanish. So you can see it bilingual. But because this is a technical, and obviously in English as well, but because this is technical, I would always recommend that you look at the English version, the English side, even if you ask for bilingual examination. and even if translation is available, because technical it might be confusing but it's entirely up to you. And then the time remaining I just explained is there at the top of the screen. And the next one is about using the mouse. You see the cursor here. Um, so it's same as any other laptop. If you move the mouse, the cursor moves. And the next page, if a question is too long, it says this page requires scrolling. So you need to scroll down to see the whole question and all the choices, the answers that you can choose. And there is a calculator icon. You don't need a calculator for this exam, but if you need even, there's an icon there for the calculator, and then you click on that, and it's a non-scientific calculator, some addition, subtraction if you want to do. But I don't think you need that. And the questions are on your left-hand column, as you can see. Now, if you are in a particular question like 26, it turns into an arrow. That means that's the question you are at. And if you answer the question, say 27, then it turns black. And the number 28 means you haven't answered it. And so it's just a box, green box, like same as other question on your this column on your left side. And then the 29, you see a flag there. That means you have flagged up this question. And this arrow down means that there is more question. If you click on that, more question comes up. So those are the icons for the questions. And if you answering a question, if you click on the box, say you have chosen C, for example, it turns change color. It turns into almost yellow. The others are white. So you know that just to show you that you have selected this answer. And if there is multiple questions, it will tell you that they select two that apply at the end of the question. So you have to select two answers, which is highly unlikely, but in case you see such a thing, then that means you have to select two answers. In this case, A and D has been selected. And then if you have a drag and drop, for example, they ask you drag and drop, which is also haven't seen in the exam, but then you keep the mouse on say December, pull it down to the month box where the months of the year. Same thing for June. Click on this, drag it down, and the horse and dog you can drop it on animals. And it should look like this. And so that's your answer practically, which I haven't seen really. The other option that you have here is connecting the dots. So if you click on say dog and then click on canine, so it connects that box to canine, the dog box. And if you want to change your answer, then click again on canine and then click on feline, for example. It will connect dog to feline. So I haven't seen yet, but I understand there's going to be a question like this, either already there or in future. And this flag of button is particularly I find it useful. So if a question that you are in doubt, you don't know exactly the answer, you're not 100% sure. So what you can do is you answer it anyway because there is no negative marking, but flag it off. And at the end, you filter all the questions by flagged off question until you'll come back to that. And so at last 15, 20 minutes, you can look at all those flagged off questions, the doubtful questions. So this helps you not to get stuck in one question for more than 1 minute. The total you have is approximately 1.5 minutes per question. Now, highlighting the text, you can do so by keeping the cursor on that part of the sentence and then drag it, and then it highlights if you want to focus on a sentence. So this is another option. This option that I find it also useful is that you For example, you have got 4 answers and you don't know which one is correct, but you work by deduction, by reasoning, and you can eliminate like 2 answers, like A and C. You know, these 2 answers are absolutely wrong, but you're not sure whether it's B or D. So you can right click on the A box and right click on the C box. It strikes off those questions. Uh, and so once you click on, then you can choose between B and D. So you're narrowing down your answer by reasoning or by deduction, you see. So this could be also useful. And if you want to leave any comment on each question, you're welcome to do so. But remember that this is coming off your time. It's not going to affect your scoring. If you want to challenge any question, you can do so. On the section review at the end, what I would suggest is you click on unattempted and then filter it by unattempted. This is to ensure that there is no, you shouldn't be able to see any question unattempted because there is no negative marking. So you want to answer all the questions regardless whether you know or not, or you're not sure. But this is to increase your chances of passing. So there should be nothing in unattempted questions. Okay, no green box. And or you can do attempted and just look at it and see they should be all black the other way around. But unattempted, you can filter it. And then at the last 15 minutes, what you can do is once you answered all the questions, you filter it by flagged up question, and then you go through them once again under your remaining time. So you have a peace of mind. You answer them, but you are now going to have another check. That's it. So even if the exam finishes, you have at least answered them and you have covered as many flags of questions as possible. So you don't need to panic that you are short of time. So this is the end of this section. And if you want to finish this section, you can click on this finish section. If you still have time, normally it's 10 minutes, but if you still have time and want to finish this section, it says that are you sure? And during the exam also the same thing. Are you sure you want to finish this? And you say yes. And again it will ask you, if you finish this section, you're not able to return to this section. So it's finished. And the exam is concluded. So if you say yes again, if you click on finish section again, then your exam, I don't recommend this. Wait till the time runs out by itself. Utilize the maximum time allocated to yourself. So that's my advice to you. Thank you for watching this video. And the next one, we are going to talk about exam and, schedule and fees. How much this cost and what's the duration and some other information.